Okay, and we're live. Hi, everyone. It is June 3rd, and you know what? Wait, or is it June 4th? It's June 4th. It's June 4th. Okay, and this is a special day because I have two graduations this week. Yesterday was my son from middle school, and today is my son from high school, and we're having a party here in a couple hours. So, I'm gonna be real quick because we've got some questions in the community that I want to answer, and I'm just gonna show you guys a couple things I'm noticing with the wall, probably 5-10 minutes, and then we'll be good. But you guys definitely post in the community if you have questions. plantedmd@plantedplaces.com if you have specific questions. But really, you guys, this is peak growing season, and you're gonna see when I walk around, I mean, everything is just growing in so fast. I'm gonna show you the difference between 1 week on my walls in terms of what the growth looks like, because it's just really exciting. But the important part is you gotta make sure you're watering. So I'm over here in Northern California, Los Gatos, it's inland, and we are having, 90-degree weathers. And so I've got my water, my walls being watered every morning. And what you also want to do is, as those plants are growing in, there's more roots being established. And so what's going to happen is there's more roots taking up the water. So it's going to take longer to go through the wall. So you might have to extend the amount of time that you're watering. Okay, you might at first 20 minutes might have been fine. Now it might need to be like 30 or 35 minutes. Also, the other thing I talked about last week is you might need to move some pots around depending on growth. If some things are growing faster and they're crowding out a small seedling that's just starting to get going, it's probably not getting a lot of sunlight. Photosynthesis is not going to be happening as much. It's not going to be growing as fast. So you might need to move some things around. Okay, so that's kind of other tips to think about. If you are growing in the containers, you don't have to worry about that. But you do need to worry about watering though. The nice thing with the wall is it's all automated for you. So what I want to do is I want to talk about peppers. Because everybody got their jalapeno peppers last month, and I want to talk about how we cut those back. Not a complete requirement, so don't stress out if you haven't done it. I will be honest, in prior years when I've done this, I have not cut them back, but you're going to have different kind of growth, bushier growth if you cut them back. So it's a good thing to do, but please don't stress if you don't want to do it or you're afraid that you're going to kill it. You don't need, it's not a requirement. I also want to show you about when you plant your seedlings and it's really hot like this, especially as we go into June and July, they're sensitive. And so when you first plant it, you only want morning sun on it. You don't want to have it in the afternoon sun. It's going to get fried. And I will show you because that happened to me. So I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. So let me take the phone and I'm going to flip around and I'm just going to show you a couple of things really quick. Okay, so here are some peppers and I want to show you an example. This one I have not cut back yet. And you can see I've got the growth, the branching's happening up there at the top. This one I did cut. See, I've got a little cut right there. And so you can see it's starting to bush out there at the bottom. See that? Whereas this one, I don't have that. It's happening more on the top. So this is what clipping the top does for you. You want to have at least three branch stems beneath where you clip, okay? So I actually had you want to wait till you get about 5 because I went down 2, I cut it here. But you see I've got the 3, 1, 2, 3. I had 3 different stems of branches coming off there. That's how you want to do that. Okay, I want to go over here because I want to show you, I saw some powdery mildew on my Swiss chard. This is a multi-seeded Swiss chard. So what you'll see here is there's one seedling, there's another one, and there is another one. So there are it's blocking. I'm getting blockage. There's 3 of them there, okay? And I have powdery mildew on this leaf. And this is what you do, is you just go in and you flip it off, okay? And you can see here, do you see that white, almost kind of fungus? That's powdery mildew. And really the best thing to do is just to take that off. If you don't have a lot of growth, this one's been growing in a while, so I got a lot of growth, so I can afford to kind of take it off. But you can rub it off. Just rub it off, and you can still eat it. It's fine. Okay. See this one too? This is also powdery mildew. This, what happens is if this should have been taken off. I should have harvested this a long time ago because it's been in there a while. And so the older leaves that are the plant's kind of given up on them and it's putting its energy into the new growth, you should take these ones off because they're just taking energy out of the growth of the plant. Swiss chard is extremely forgiving. It's very easy. It likes the cooler weather, but it also can handle the summer heat here. So, love it. Okay, here's basil. And you can see I've actually been clipping this back. And it's coming, so I clipped out down here. So with your basil, you want to be clipping this. Like I should right here, I should do a little cut right here, or maybe even go down to there, because it will promote more lateral growth. And that way you'll get a real bushy basil, and you won't just have a really long, tall one. You don't want that. You want to make sure it's growing out. Okay, I want to show you where I had a burnt leaf. It's already recovering. But this guy, this is my leaf lettuce, and he was really burnt. You know, kind of right in here, you can kind of see the end of it. I took the growth off, but the new growth's coming in fine. But I made sure I moved this because right now it's getting the morning sun. In the afternoon, the sun's kind of over here. It's not, sun's over there, it's not here. So it's actually protected more. So there you go, that's important. Swiss chard also kind of got a little burnt. You can just see the leaf edges there, the tips, they're burnt. So be careful of that. Had a question about spinach. This spinach that you received this last month, that it's a heat tolerant spinach, but in general, spinach likes cool weather. So this is it looks a little different. The leaves are smaller. It's almost, you can see here, I've got a little yellow flower, and it's almost kind of starting to bolt a little bit. So if you're in a warm environment, I would not recommend spinach. One thing that we are doing that is different this time around is we're going to have a special shipment for people that are in really hot environments like Florida and Arizona, southern Arizona and such. We're going to send you primarily herbs, because right now you can't, if you're starting to go into 90s consistently, you're not going to want to be up growing lettuces or even leafy greens. So we're going to be doing primarily herbs for you guys. So don't you worry. If you'd rather just pause for the summer, you can do that as well. Okay, now I want to show you also growth. Look at this. Okay, if you guys remember last week, I've already started harvesting this. Look at these romaines. They are huge, okay? This is 3 weeks of growth, and I've already started harvesting. I started doing it last week. Here's the arugula, really big and happy. Here's one that's got 2 seedlings in there, and it's starting to grow. It's a little bit more shaded, so see how the one on the top is it's bigger? Do you see the difference there? And that really is because of sun. It doesn't get quite as much sun. It's actually shaded out by this butterhead above it. But if I compare that to this one over here, you can see these are smaller, and this was actually planted a week after the other. So these are getting settled in, and then they're just going to shoot up. Okay, now I'm going to have my sister. Do you care? Here she is. Hello. She's like, I'm going to have my sister hold for my sister's in town for graduation. And I know you don't want me to interview you, but she's also growing.
I am.
Okay, do you want to just say a couple of tips? I know you didn't want me to do this.
I am growing in northern Arizona at 7,000 feet in Flagstaff.
Crazy.
And we're finally, our last freeze was about 3 weeks ago. So I've been transplanting or moving my pots in and out of the house. Now they're obviously out full time, and they're all starting to grow. I've got romaine. I've got I've got some of the cilantro. I've got the sorrel, and I've got my spinach. Actually, is doing very well.
Yeah. No. See, isn't this interesting? This one. I mean, this one was planted actually. Before the other one I just showed.
It's a little bit slower growing.
Yeah, it is slower growing, but do you see how it's more full? Like it's filling out, which is nice, and it's kind of protected. I put it at the bottom of the so it's protected from the sun. I did that on purpose, and same with the cilantro, because cilantro doesn't really like the cold. But you were saying that your Swiss chard is really happy, and your sorrel's happy, right?
Yes, and my lettuce because I'm colder. Our middays. Actually, we're starting to warm up. We're in the upper 70s.
Oh, so you're getting, okay, that's perfect for lettuce.
Yeah, we have a big difference. 70s, lower 80s, but at night we jump down into the 40s, low 40s.
Awesome.
So we're funny.
Yeah, no, I know. And you're my good test person. It's like, okay, what are you doing now? Yeah. And then she grows inside in the winter. So yeah, exactly. But you kind of slow down a little bit in the winter because you'd have to, because you're covered in snow. And okay, so I'm going to show people, okay, if you can hold it, is it? Yeah, it's good. Okay, I'm going to show people how to clear the emitter. So I'm going to go back here. I think you got to go on this angle so you probably can see it. I'm going to wedge myself in between. Okay, so I want to show people, because we've got questions about sometimes the drip on the irrigators is not as consistent. And that is why we have, so this is a nice little clip that holds this in place. And this is, okay, I'm going to have to wear my glasses. No, I think I can do it. Okay, this is called a flag emitter. So it's self-cleaning. And what that means is you can pull this out and any debris that's kind of stuck in the line comes shooting out. So that's what I tell people to do. And so this one, see, I just pulled it out and do you see, I don't know if you can see it, but see how there's like this little spot here. And that's where this, you just line it up. So you go like that and you move, close it. And then if you want to open it up, you line it up and then you pull it out like that. And then you'll see, oftentimes with me, you might see debris on this. And then the water's spraying out and I wash it off,
Right.
And then that 9 times out of 10 solves my problem for me. I know that Cher Downing, you had mentioned that, oh my gosh, two of them work fine and one of them just causes me problems. So, we can absolutely replace that. If there's one where it's just not working for you, then, we can absolutely replace that. Another thing I want to show is the inline filter. So, I get over on this side. So the inline filter is on the main tube. So what you do is this is something that really we should be doing. I'm seeing where.
I'm sorry.
Hit my head. Trying to see where it is. Yeah, it's towards the bottom. Okay, it's kind of different. This is an older model wall. Actually quite older in terms of the frame, because the frame isn't. We weren't even powder coating this. This is why it's all like this, because it was a very old one for test gardens. But this is your inline filter. And so what you do is you just screw it. It's really easy. You just unscrew this, okay? And what you'll see is there's a filter in here. So I'm gonna do this. The newer models, this inline filter's up higher, so it's easier to get to. So probably should have picked a different wall, but see, it comes flying out. This is pretty clean. But you can imagine if I got a lot of this in there, it would start, it would really start clogging the water. So right now, I should put this underwater. I actually have a little brush that I put in there to kind of strip, but you just rinse it out so that's all clear, and then you put it back. I should do that, but I don't want to take the time to run over to the sink. I'll do it later. But then you just put it back and you just screw it back. And you want to make sure that you've got your washer right there. See that green? Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're black. But you want to make sure you got your washer there because that helps with no leaks. And then you just screw it on and you're going to line it up right. And then I always remember, is it counterclockwise? Here we go. It is counterclockwise. Okay, and then I screw back up, and then you're good to go. And if it's running, the irrigation, oftentimes you're doing this because it's watery and you're noticing it's not flowing. So what I do, depending on your pump, for this one, I just unplug it so that way I can get in there, change things out, and then I go like this, and then it starts running again. So you want to make sure you unplug your pump first so that so there's not water flying everywhere when you're doing this. So that is it. And then also there is a filter in the pump as well. But that generally does not get clogged. That's normally the culprit is here, to be honest. And then the flag emitters. All right. We are done. So everybody, you're going to get an email for, that has the recording of this and the recipes of the week and everything else. And you guys enjoy yourself. We do have a graduate special that will be in your member email. So we have a fun promotion if you've got a graduate in your life that you want to give to the, it's a discount off the membership, which is very exciting, and that's going to be in your member email. So you'll see the code that you enter, and you've got, especially if you've got anybody graduating from college, wow, and they're living on their own for the first time. What an awesome gift, allowing them to start growing their own healthy food. I can't wait. My son's going into a dorm, it's going to be hard, but I might give him microgreens. I think I will do that.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Okay, and then we just kind of do